Hello and welcome to this introduction to how to enter the Relocate Awards 2024. I'm Fiona Murchie, Managing Editor of Relocate Global and Think Global People, and with me here today is Dr. Sue Shortland, the head judge of our awards. So Susan, welcome.
Yes, hello Fiona, it's good to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Great. So it's exciting that it's this time of the year again, entering the time to enter the Relocate and Think Global People Awards. So this is a quick overview of how to create a successful winning entry. And as you'll see, we're going to cover what the theme is, how you can enter, who should enter, the various award categories, and some really insightful tips from Sue Shortland on how you can really do a successful entry. We'll run through the judging process and then of course how to fill out your entry form and where the scores are, and then of course the key dates for entering leading up to our Gala Awards dinner and coverage. And then of course we'll briefly discuss sponsorship opportunities. So Sue, let's have a discussion about really the theme and why this year did you decide flexibility and choice, or we decided, didn't we, having spoken to, got feedback on our award winners and our judges, and really what's happened over recent years and the last year, how things are responding to changes in the workplace and how global mobility has caught up, and the growth of new people entering this arena.
Yes, Fiona, it's been a very interesting year, hasn't it? And what we're seeing an increased emphasis within organisations on flexibility for various reasons, as the article in the magazine goes into in more depth. But obviously, flexibility is incredibly important to employees, and employers need to feel that they are offering flexibility if they're going to attract the best talent, and also if they want to sort of foster employee engagement, which of course leads to innovation and excellent services. So that's sort of why flexibility is in there. A choice is because customers expect it these days. We all expect to have choice, but we expect high quality goods and services, and we expect them to be tailored to what we actually want. So these two themes are, highly interconnected. Flexibility being offered to employees provides innovative goods and services and provides choice and high quality for the receivers of those services. So bringing the two together seemed the natural thing to do for this year's awards.
Yes, excellent. So let's go over to the diagram, which a lot of people will be familiar with. This encompasses our content across the media and also our events, and really how we combine global mobility, leadership and education. So would you like to talk us through who can enter and the types of organisations, the industry sector, because as people will see from this diagram, it's about regional, local and global coverage, and we welcome people from all sorts of industry sectors and all sorts of professions.
Yes, Fiona, as the diagram shows around the outside, we've got the types of people who could enter, organisations that can enter. So we have, first of all, sort of HR professionals and those involved in mobility as well. We've got global leadership and management, and industry experts as well, and also those who provide services to them. So that goes around the outside of the diagram and gives you a broad indication of the types of people who could enter. And as you said, you can be local, you can be a small firm operating locally, or you can be a global giant. It could be, either, or you could be operating at a regional level. So we're welcoming entries from all of those. I think what's really important, though, is that we hear in the news lots and lots of examples of things that are poor practice. It's on the news all the time. We only ever hear the bad stuff. But actually, we know and we recognise that there are huge numbers of employers of choice out there, great employers who are delivering fantastic services and are very innovative and very sort of, good for fostering engagement and so on and so forth. So we think it's really important that organisations should enter because they can raise their corporate profile by doing so, and this will help them to attract and retain talent. So in terms of, the sectors that might apply, for example, traditional industries, manufacturing, engineering, new technology industries, for example, service industries, a whole range of different industries could actually benefit from these awards and could indeed enter them. So a whole range there. And then if you look at the diagram, we've got the key themes here as well. So you've talked about global mobility, but it's not just about mobility. The Relocate Awards are also the Think Global People Awards. So there's two sort of main areas. So you can see from this that we've also got issues, for example, like international talent deployment and development, technology analytics, research and ideas, which takes industry forward and from which we can all learn and benefit. And then we've got sort of education and training covered here. And of course, ESG, environmental, social and governance issues, which are increasingly becoming important in today's world. So a whole range of themes and a whole range of people and industries who could enter for these awards.
Yes, well, that's really pretty comprehensive. So I would, and this diagram is also included on the entry form, so people can recap, and it's on the website.
Yes, and we'll look at the categories a bit later on in this presentation. Come back to that in a minute.
So really, Sue, why should people enter the awards, and what's the value of the awards, and what are the benefits to them and to their companies?
Well, I think it's really important to recognise and celebrate success. And I think that sort of sentence sums it up, really. But recognition is important because all the employees who work for your organisations benefit when there is recognition, and they are rewarded and awarded for the work that they've done and the excellent products and services that they have been involved in delivering. So recognition helps to increase employee involvement and also increase employee engagement, which is in turn very, very good for businesses. And then the point about celebrating success, celebration is fun. It's good for us. We need cheering up. So it's always good to find a reason to celebrate good work that's been achieved.
Yes, quite. And also, it ultimately leads to productivity and growth, I suppose.
Yes, it does. If people are recognised and celebrated for what they do, it adds to their motivation, adds to their engagement, adds to their commitment. So it's good for business. It's good for business all round.
And so here's a reminder of what the awards categories actually are.
Yes, well, we've got 9 this year. I won't read them all out, but I will comment on some of them. I think it's important to note that some of these categories where we have a lot of entries coming in, we can subdivide them. So there could be a winner for the local provision, for example, or indeed global provision, to differentiate between very small firms who operate locally and larger global giants. So we can subdivide some of these categories. I think it's also important to remember that some areas of work that people do can fall under multiple categories. So it's worth thinking about entering for more than one. So, for example, in the talent development engagement category, organisations might wish to consider if they have excellent diversity and inclusion policies, that could fit in with talent development. But of course, it also fits in with the social pillar of ESG. category number 9 at the bottom there. So there's, there's a range really that employers can enter for. So don't necessarily feel that you have to restrict yourself to entering just one category. If you feel that your entry can be differentiated and you can apply for more than one, that's fine to do that. Just make sure that obviously that those entries are differentiated. It's not the same for both. So there's a range there. There's an issue also, I just comment on education. Education covers schools and education consultancy, but once again, that's one that could potentially be subdivided if we have multiple entries in particular, either in the schools category or the education consultancy, that could be divided. So we have 9 categories, but it can result in more than 9 awards, I think is what I'm trying to say there.
And we are also very keen to encourage more and more corporates from different disciplines to enter with their service suppliers and indeed on their own, and to reflect what's going on in their organisations. And we've had a good following of people in HR and indeed HR global mobility people. But of course today, when education is so important and so is learning and development, there are these disciplines as well, which our website reflects the importance of education, which is lifelong learning and training and skills based as well. So that's
yes, that's absolutely right, Fiona. We're welcoming people from the learning and development function, from talent management, from diversity and inclusion, leadership, HR generally, and also global mobility. So a whole range of different functions. The other point I guess I should make is about partnerships. So where organisations partner with their service providers, we very much welcome a partnership application as well. So whole range of applications can fit under these different categories.
And also, as people notice from our media coverage, growth and inward investment and people, organisations setting up in new dominion, that means that there are a whole variety of new skills, the whole different aspects of tax and pensions and outsourcing and setting up.
Yes, indeed. I mean, obviously, the sort of legal issues, visa issues, compliance issues are important, reflecting the new trend towards remote and hybrid working. So we're obviously welcoming entries that fit within those parameters as well.
So exciting times and exciting, we're looking forward to some exciting entries. So tell us a bit more about the entries then.
Yes, well, this slide shows a picture of some of the award winners from the last year, looking very happy there on the stage, having won. So it shows celebrating success generates very positive feelings amongst the award winners. So really, I guess it's how do you end up on that stage, isn't it? How do you get there with your glass of champagne in order to celebrate? And I think it's quite important really to really read very carefully what you're being asked to do. So follow the instructions carefully and write an inspiring narrative. So the award winners win because they've written something that actually really demonstrates to the judges why they should win, you know, what they have done that is innovative or inspiring. So it's not about marketing, it's about telling us what you've actually achieved and how you have done it. So the entry statement that you are asked to write is only 500 words. It's not a lot, but it obviously therefore requires careful crafting and editing to get the key points across. There are 3 areas that we are looking for you to address. So first is about providing a unique and exceptional quality experience. And if relevant, commenting on global mobility implications to that, but obviously leadership or, ESG implications are welcome as well. To provide a commentary on how you've been responsive, been resource efficient, been cost effective and so on, and how you differentiate yourself from others in the field, and producing goods and services that provide choice. So drawing back to our theme of choice there for the recipients of your services. And then the final sort of part of the narrative concerns how your leadership team has supported you. So what has your leadership team done to help your employees provide an innovative, inspirational and flexible service? And particularly commenting on that in the relation to a global and diverse marketplace. So the entry statement, only 500 words, 3 key areas to cover in that. And also to support your entry with a short 2-minute video. And I would just make the point that the video is important. It doesn't need to be a glossy corporate video, marketing type video. Indeed, a homemade talking head video is probably better, because that actually gives us a flavour of what you can say about your organisation and what you have done this year that makes you stand out in the theme of flexibility and choice.
Great, yes, and that's been a fairly new, recent addition to videos, but really they have captured the spirit and culture of organisations and people. That's great to see.
Yes, I would add to that the video has made a big difference to the judges. We introduced the videos, just as a sort of an optional extra, if you like, a few years ago. But actually, the judges have found those incredibly helpful to get a feeling of exactly what your company is about. And that's why we're now saying that the video, we want to see it this year. And when we're scoring, it is going to attract some scoring points. So it's important to produce a video, please, because the judges have found it exceptionally helpful.
Yes, quite. Right, so is that everything you have to say, do you think?
Well, I can comment on scoring the entries and the independence of the judges as well.
Yeah, well, let me take down this fabulous photo, and we'll have you in full vision. Yes,
full glory, absolutely. Yes, okay, so scoring the entries, so there's the 3 parts to the entry statement that I have just run through. So that's the unique, exceptional quality experience, the responsive, resource efficient, cost effective service that offers choice, and the leadership team supporting their staff in a way that actually delivers flexibility. So each of those 3 points will be attracting scores, and they can attract a maximum of 25 points each. And the video this year, for the first time, it's definitely going to be attracting a score. So again, 25 points for the video. So what that means is you can score up to 100 points. And therefore, those are the things that you absolutely must include. We also say that if you wish to provide some supporting documentation, maximum of a page, please. So, for example, that might include some testimonials. It might include some slides, some pictures of what you do, or the technology you use, something like that. If you wish to provide that 1 page of supporting documentation as well, we are happy to look at that. But obviously, it is supporting documentation. It's not going to attract points in its own right. So don't rely on it. But at the same time, it is very helpful to the judges, particularly when we can see examples of practice, testimonials, and so on. Which actually leads me to just add in, it's always worth mentioning examples of what's worked well, what you've actually done, some examples in practice within your entry statement itself, because it brings it to life. So, we welcome that as well. The other point I said I'd comment on is just the independence of the judges. So what you'll find is every entry is judged by at least 2 people. Sometimes 3. And what happens is each of the judges receives the documentation independently, and they work on their own with the scoring criteria to score the entries. And then the judges on each category will get together, virtually usually, but we get together online or by phone, and we discuss the entries and the scores that we've given, and then from that we agree the winner. If there's a tie or if there's any dispute, then we bring in an additional judge to review the entries there, or indeed myself as head judge will look at the entries as well, so that we can agree the outcome, who's going to win. And often we believe that there are people who perhaps haven't won, but they should be highly commended. And we want to stress that that's important as well, to be highly commended if you haven't won the category. But let's say try to win, go out to win it. Be in it to win it is the expression, isn't it?
Brilliant. So I'd just also like to mention, Sue, that obviously you are an academic and you are with the University of Westminster, and you various other universities in your career. So you do have a considerable experience of scoring and making sure that all things are fair. And we're extremely grateful for your role as head judge over the years.
Yes, I just add then that the judges are mostly practitioners. They're people who are working in the field, so they have relevant experience and expertise. And obviously for me, one of my main areas is research. So I do tend to take quite a strong role on the research category. And I have worked in industry myself, although obviously more recently in academia. So yeah, my strength is in making sure that the marking criteria are applied fairly throughout. But I do stress that we have a whole raft of practitioners who are working in the field and who have great experience and knowledge of these different subject areas, and therefore they are highly relevant people to judge your entries.
Yes, and we also are scrupulous about making sure that there is no conflict of interest.
Oh, absolutely. Yes, thanks for raising that, Fiona. If anybody does have any links or knowledge of the particular firm or has worked for them, then they would not be able to judge that particular entry. We would be using an independent judge in all cases. So there won't be any bias and there won't be any conflict of interest. We're absolutely scrupulous about that. Thanks for raising that.
But I would urge people to go to the website, see the entry forms, and it's all extremely straightforward. So I'd encourage you to get started on your entries straight away.
Yes, don't leave it to the last minute. That's what my students do, leave it to the last minute, and then it's a panic. So don't do that. You can always work on it a little bit at a time, and sometimes people might look at a form and think, oh, that's a bit daunting, but actually just jot down some notes and make some bullet points of what you think you might cover. And then you can work that together into a flowing narrative that's persuasive and inspirational, which is obviously what we're looking for. I know you can do it. People have done it really excellent entries in the past. So, don't be put off by it. And yeah, don't leave it to the last minute either. But enjoy it. Enjoy talking about your success. You'll find the words will flow once you actually get engaged with it yourself.
Mm. And of course, we along the way do cover what the different areas that are build up to the awards, but also people's successes. And we will be bringing some podcasts and webinars short over the next month or so to give you a flavour of who's won and what they've achieved and how they've come on over the years. So that's really interesting to look back on. If you just take a look at this, the awards coverage also is well worth having. And I've taken this back to 2019, which is obviously pre-pandemic, just also to remind people that there is a wonderful reward at the end, all celebrating success at our awards gala dinner. And this year we will be going back to London and having a wonderfully exciting and exuberant celebration of everyone who's entered, and indeed the whole global mobility and international leadership and education arena. So it's a wonderful time to come together. So you can dress up and put your best bib and tucker on and really celebrate the industry's success and how far we've come. And also to mention that this is the 20th year. It's our anniversary of Relocate magazine. We'll have achieved 20 years in 2024. So added celebration. And the coverage you'll also get, and we'll be including reminders of top tips and what to do for entry in our newsletter across the on the website, but in our e-newsletters and in the magazine, which you'll have already seen on a regular basis. So there's plenty of resources to build up your case for winning. So the critical thing of the awards timeline, it's all quite straightforward. Awards entry open 23rd of January and don't close until 12th of April. So you even have the Easter break if you're wanting to put the finishing touches. But as Sue said, we'd be pleased to have your entries as soon as they're written. We will announce the award shortlist sometime in May, as quickly and efficiently as possible. And then we will announce the award winners, which, as I say, this year will be in London on Thursday, the 6th of June. So we'd encourage you to look forward to that date and to bring along your guests and members of the team, because it all does make a difference to celebrate people's success within your organisation and to grow the whole industry sector and the importance of international leadership and management. And of course, once the winners are announced at this fabulous ceremony, which is always very slick and enjoyable, we will cover everything in this wonderful special award supplement, which we've included every year, and that will be out at the end of June. So the success you've achieved, plus the outcomes of the winners' entry, plus full write-ups of the award winners will all be there and heavily promoted from June onwards and through to the following autumn and into the new year. So it really is worth entering. We, of course, would love to receive sponsorship, so please do get in touch with me, particularly in this special year of 20 years of Relocate and Relocate Global. So please contact me to find out more, and you can enjoy the video highlights of awards over the years and our festivals and other activities and the reactions of award winners on our websites and on YouTube. So I'm Fiona Murchie, the Managing Editor of Relocate Global and, of course, Think Global People, which widens our audience to all those working across international management sectors. So thank you very much for joining us. And here are details of Dr. Sue Shortland, who, as you've heard, is Senior Lecturer in HRM at the University of Westminster and has a long career in research and academia, as well as previously working for the CBI Employee Relocation Council and for consultancy KPMG. So Sue, thank you very much for your input today. I would have to say we're excited to see the entries pouring in, wouldn't you say?
Yes, really looking forward to it. They are quite inspiring and they are interesting, and we always learn from them, and they're fun to do as well. So yes, very much looking forward to them coming in again this year.
Great. Well, thank you very much for joining us.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
So that all remains to say is good luck to everybody. Here's the contact details. There's the special awards at email address. There's the phone number if you need to contact us in the office here. And you can find more details on both websites, including the relocateglobal.com website with the special awards section, where you can also look back at previous award winners and categories. So do catch up, keep up with the latest awards on our e-newsletters and on podcasts and webinars leading up to the close of entries. And also do access thinkglobalpeople.com, our new website, where you'll find all the behind the scenes action, plus mini fact sheets and podcasts. And of course, that's where you can buy your tickets to the fantastic dinner at the end of the entry process. So we'll hope to see you all there. So keep in touch via the website and do feel free to get in touch. And here's just a reminder of our multimedia, which, as you can see, has plenty of resources. So please do log into both websites and take advantage of these wonderful resources. So good luck, everyone, and we look forward to hearing from you, receiving your entries, and to you joining us in June for a fabulous celebration of the Relocate and Think Global People Awards. Goodbye.
Yes, good luck and goodbye.